Do's and don'ts before closing date on your new home purchase. So I'm going to review 3 things you should do before closing day and 3 things you should not do before closing day. Okay, so let's get started with the don'ts. Get the bad stuff out of the way first. Do not open any new loans before closing on your property. So do not go out there and buy a vehicle with a car loan. Do not open up a new credit card. Do not take out any loans for new appliances that you might possibly need. And maybe you're planning to get married and this is an exciting time. Do not go and buy that ring on credit before closing day. Second don't. Do not take on a new job. No new employment during the pending closing date of your new property. Yes, you might get offered a new job during the closing of your property, but try to schedule this employment to start after the property closes. Third don't. Do not accept any gifted money from family before the closing date. So you may be hear from your aunt or your uncle or grandma or grandpa, and they're ready to give you some gifted money because they're excited on you closing your new house. But there's going to be huge complications if you take that gifted money during the pending closing period. Again, the mortgage company is going to look at this, figure out where the money came from. This can create delays. So let's not take any gifted money. If you know you're going to be getting gifted money, try to arrange it to get it before the purchase or wait till after the property closes. All right, let's move on to the 3 do's. Number 1, do have enough money to close on the property. And I don't mean just the down payment that most people plan for, whether it's 5, 10, 15, or 20%. There's other costs to consider on the closing date. You've got your land transfer tax, you got your lawyer fee, you have an appraisal fee from the mortgage company, you might have to pay an inspection, you will have title insurance on your mortgage, and possibly if you paid less than 20% down, you may need to pay PST on your mortgage insurance premium. Second do make sure that you assign all the utilities and possible rental equipment in the property into your name prior to closing. This is going to save you a lot of headache and possible extra costs actually in the end. So things like hydro, gas, water bill, even your internet. These are all good things to have ready to go well before the closing date. And with regards to rental items, often in homes, things like the water heater can be a rental. It seems to be a little more common now that also people are renting the furnace, air conditioning, even humidifier, things like that. So ensure that during the negotiations, if you have agreed to take over these rental items, that you assign these into your name prior to closing. Okay, third do remember to plan your last revisit of the home before closing close to that completion date. So this is a time to go in and just make sure obviously the house is in good order and things like major appliances or other utilities are working. Sometimes you can't check them all, like in the wintertime you cannot check the air conditioning system. Okay, third do remember to plan your last revisit of the home before closing close to that completion date. So this is a time to go in and just make sure obviously the house is in good order and things like major appliances or other utilities are working. Sometimes you can't check them all, like in the wintertime you cannot check the air conditioning system. Make sure all these items are in good working order close to the closing date, and then obviously on closing day is your last opportunity to make any sort of claim if they're not working. But as I encourage, before completion is a better time to start negotiating if something doesn't work. Okay, thanks so much for tuning into this video. Remember those do's and don'ts when you're making a purchase. And if you have any further questions, do reach out and I'd be happy to talk all things real estate. All right, have yourselves a great weekend.